So I'm 23 years old, and I believe this was in high school or late middle school, early high school when the league was on lock and we kind of just had to talk about other teams, even though we knew like they're not beating the Warriors. They weren't beating the Warriors, but they were fun to watch. The 2017 Spurs with Kawhi and LaMarcus Aldridge, they were fun. The 2017 Cavs were even better than the 2016 Cavs. They were fun. The Thunder were fun with Russell Westbrook averaging his triple double. The Chris Paul and James Harden Rockets were really fun. Like all these teams were really fun. But in the end of the day, we knew come May, we knew who was hoisting that Larry O'Brien. We knew who was picking up that Larry O'Brien at the end of the season. And in the back of my head, I'm in a position, or I feel like we're in a position where we're seeing that happen all over again. Like the Oklahoma City Thunder are 10-1. They have not had their second best player all season. Their third best player and best defender has been in and out of the lineup all season. And their best player is playing at a clear MVP type of level. And it feels like nobody is talking about it. The Oklahoma City Thunder with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams out are still one of the best teams in basketball, if not the best team in basketball. And this is where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's best in the world case comes into play. Because the more I know the NBA is kind of it feels like the NBA is really honed in on Jokic is the best player in the world. It's undoubtable. He's the best player in the world. I just don't think that's the case. If you think Jokic is the best player in the world, I don't have an issue with that. It's me saying that if you think Jokic is the best player in the world and it's comfortable, that's where I start to have the pushback. Because what SGA is doing as a scorer for this Oklahoma City Thunder team provides such a high floor for this basketball team that they are able to go 10-1 with two of their three most valuable players out, one of them not even playing the entire season. J-Dub had a wrist injury, I believe, that was diagnosed in the offseason. He played through it through the NBA Finals and has been recovering all offseason and has missed the entire season. And it's such a luxury to say, hey, we have this all-time great half-court scorer, all-time great floor raiser that, you know what, J-Dub, you're the second best player on a team on a dominant 68-win championship team, and you don't have to play. You can rest as much as you want because we have the best defense in the world, one of the best defenses we've seen of the 21st century, and we have an all-time great scorer that allows us to play all these defensive players that can raise the level defensively while SGA keeps our floor high offensively. That's crazy to me. And I think we're going to go back in time 15, 20 years from now and look at this team and compare it to the 17 Warriors or the 96 Bulls or the Showtime Lakers or the 80s or the Bird Celtics and say, these guys don't have the names that the Warriors had. These guys don't have the names that the Bulls had. These guys don't have the names that the Lakers had, and etc. That's because we are in a different era of basketball that allows the teams to be this dominant with the roster construction versus how it was back in the day with having multiple superstar players. Now, I'm not saying that roster construction does not matter in past eras. Obviously, roster construction does matter, but I think we're starting to see a parity in basketball to where having 2 to 3 or having 2 stars and a superstar or having a superstar and a star and really good role players is what's going to lead to dominance in the NBA. It's about hitting on those draft picks. It's about getting a AJ Mitchell in the second round. It's about getting a Aaron Wiggins. It's about stashing a Thomas Sorber who has not played a minute of basketball and fits with this team like a glove. People are 7th in offense per NBA.com at a 118 offensive rating. They are 1st in defensive rating at a 104.5, and they're 1st in net rating at a positive 13.5. They're number 1 in transition and half-court defense per cleaning the glass, and number 5 in half-court offense. Right now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 33 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on a 64% true shooting. He's shooting 77% in the restricted area and 47% for mid-range. And when we talk about Shai as a scorer, I do think, one, the ball handling is phenomenal. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best athletes in basketball. And when I talk about athleticism at the NBA level, I think a lot of people just skip over to like running, jumping, dunking, athleticism. When I talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's athleticism, it's more of the balance and the ability to like get extremely low on a drive, the ability to stop on the dime and change your pace. And I think a lot of that is why he is so hard to guard, because the contact that you would give to Shai, or the contact that you would be able to use, like even when it's just bumping into him or sending multiple bodies through the lane, his ball control and his balance makes it so much easier for him to take care of the ball. Shai is somebody that doesn't get knocked off his spot a lot. And when he does get knocked off his spot, he has the ability to contain the ball and contain his composure and contain his balance to where he can create a good shot off of a foul. He can keep the ball in his hand while getting downhill. And to have that level of players that are defenders to see getting to the lane and having to finish and still finishing at a 77% clip is phenomenal to me. Like, that makes him one of the best athletes in the league, in my opinion. And the Thunder average the second least amount of turnovers in basketball. This is a team that runs their offense through SGA and what he's able to do as a scorer. And one of the biggest criticisms of heliocentric basketball is how many turnovers that you can create when just with one player having the ball as much as they do. The Thunder being able to generate the most turnovers in basketball and take care of the ball the way that they do when they're so reliant on one person creating on the perimeter, especially this season, is phenomenal. And I don't want to turn this into a SGA Glaze video, because it's really not. Like, one, I think the Thunder would not be as good if AJ Mitchell is not playing to the level that he has been playing. I mean, this season, he's averaging 17 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the floor per 75 possessions, he's averaging 24 points per game, 7 assists per game, and 5 rebounds on a league average percent true shooting. And with SGA and AJ Mitchell on the floor together, the Oklahoma City Thunder have a 124.3 offensive rating in 130 plus minutes. One of the biggest critiques that I had with OKC was, one, the outside shooting, and also not having multiple ball handlers. Jalen Williams could be a really good ball handler for the Oklahoma City Thunder at times. There was times where I believe he lived on a really tough mid-range diet that I didn't think was as feasible when it came playoff time. And it looks like over the postseason, he got better with that. But also AJ Mitchell just being on the floor with Shai allows Shai to do a lot more as a scorer. And AJ Mitchell is able to provide or to capitalize on what SGA provides. There has been multiple times where AJ Mitchell is just slicing and dicing through the defense off of a Shai double team or off of Shai's gravity to where it's easier for him to get to the rim. There's been multiple possessions where SGA is sitting in the middle of a zone when teams run zone against OKC, which was one of the biggest concerns we had in last year's postseason, especially earlier in the series against Denver, where it looked like OKC was really struggling against that. AJ Mitchell, being the ball handler that he is playing on the perimeter, allows Shai to sit in the middle of that zone, and once he gets it off the catch, he's already in his spot where he shoots 47% from and 50% last year. 58% of AJ Mitchell's shots are from 10 feet in. He's shooting 73% from the restricted area and 51% in the paint non-restricted area. And this is what makes it so hard for me to believe that this Thunder team is going to lose. Like, they're going to be able to run a lineup. I think I'm almost confident that we are going to see a lineup of SGA, AJ Mitchell, Loot. I'm pretty confident we're going to see a lineup in the postseason of SGA, AJ Mitchell, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. That team is going to be really fast. They're going to have 3 different ball handlers that can be lead ball handlers. They also have Chet Holmgren, who can put the ball on the floor and attack closeouts at the center position, and they're going to be able to knock down shots. That is going to be such a tough lineup to beat that I'm almost excited, like extremely excited to watch them play together. Like, the NBA has been very exciting. Like, The NBA has been very exciting. The Philadelphia 76ers are a good basketball team. The Spurs and Victor Wembanyama have been playing amazing basketball. But again, I feel like we're starting to lose sight of who's running the league right now and who's still the best team in the NBA record-wise, with them shooting the way they have been out from the outside and how injured they have been. And Chet Holmgren, even in my opinion, has taken a better or offensive leap. I still don't think he's 100% there where I think he can be at his peak, but I do think he's been playing well. I mean, he's been very aggressive. Even in game one, we saw it with Chet Holmgren, him being able to play in the mid-range, him putting the ball on the floor a lot more. And he's also very good off the ball. He's a really good play finisher. He's great in transition. He can relocate on the perimeter and knock down catch and shoot three-point opportunities. And he's not necessarily used in the pick and roll because I don't think he's a great screener, but that's why you have Isaiah Hartenstein in. Isaiah Hartenstein is such a really good short roll passer. He's a really good screener, and it really makes it hard to guard because if you do get a really good screen from Isaiah Hartenstein, you have to pick up on Shea because Shea does a really good job with splitting pick and rolls and creating 5-on-3 opportunities. And he's also a really good passer out of the pick and roll to Isaiah Hartenstein, who can make the lob pass to Chet Holmgren. And it's like, Shea can split the pick and roll into a 50% mid-range shot. Isaiah Hartenstein is one of the best push shot players in basketball. And then you have Chet Holmgren playing the baseline that can catch a lob at any minute. How do you guard that? How do you guard that? This is why OKC is one of the best offenses in basketball, and they're undoubtedly the best defense in basketball. And I really don't want to I don't think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying it feels like those Golden State years where we were having fun throughout the regular season, just hoping and praying somebody would beat this team, thinking the Spurs would beat this team, or saying, oh, LeBron's just that good that he's going to knock off this 17 Warriors team again. Or, oh, the Rockets, they got Chris Paul and James Harden, or the Thunder just traded for Paul George and they brought in Melo. They're going to beat the Warriors this season, even though the whole time in the back of our heads is like, they're not beating the Warriors. And it's like, this team is really good. This team, the NBA is really good right now. There's a lot of really good teams. I don't think there's anybody that can beat the Thunder right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at @thebuzzersports_. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at ATBSports1. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at @thebuzzerENT. And make sure you guys join my playback, where we are going to be watching NBA games twice a week. I promise I'm going to be consistent. And with all that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.